Downwell is a relatively simple game to understand. There are 3 buttons, the world is rendered in 3 colors, and the entire game takes around 20 minutes to complete. But here's the thing, simple doesn't mean easy. It turns out that this platinum is around an 8 out of 10 difficulty, and it can take anywhere from 20 to 30 hours to complete. Wow. I don't know what happened there. In terms of the trophy list, I really love this one because it is purely skill-based. There's no collectible grind, there's no multiplayer, there's not even a speedrun or a deathless run. This trophy list is all about just getting good enough to beat the game. Ah, so close. I feel like we were pretty close there. So we begin by starting our first run. This well is procedurally generated and it has 4 biomes: caverns, the catacombs, the aquifer, and finally Limbo. Each biome has 3 short levels, and true to roguelike form, whenever you finish a level, you get to pick up one of 3 random passive upgrades to help you with the rest of your run. Okay, what do we want here? Drone or popping gems? We'll get back to those soon. I eventually developed a combo that I felt was really strong and helped me kind of break the game towards the end. Starting out in the caverns, things are pretty chill. Enemies pop up here and there, but with your trusty gunboots, they're mostly just minor annoyances. In fact, during our very first run on this first level, we're careful enough to avoid damage altogether and snag our first trophy. Alright, first trophy already, careful descent. Complete a level without taking damage. I also accidentally got this second trophy, Time Never Stops. I got this one because I missed all of these side rooms while falling down my first level. These rooms are actually really important. They can contain gems, which are the currency of the game. You can find a shop where you use those gems to buy health or ammo upgrades, or most importantly, you can find a weapons module. These pickups change what type of weapon you're using, which drastically changes how you're going to play the rest of the level. As a nice little bonus side effect, the modules that are shaped like a heart heal you for 1, and the ones shaped like this canister give you 2 additional ammo. So we will definitely be looking for these side rooms as we go. So back to our first run. We currently have Laser, which is a really strong weapon. It shoots straight through enemies and deals a ton of damage, but it uses a lot of ammo, so you can't fire a ton. But with this side room, we get to try our hand at switching weapons and seeing how it goes. So this will probably make me lose the Laser, but okay, so I'm back to the machine gun. Machine gun seems a bit better for a complete novice, because I can actually slow myself down a bit. With the help of the machine gun, we make it to the end of the caverns and get a trophy for doing so. Bye, frogs. Beat the first area. Okay, cool. But then, as expected, the challenge ramped up. The next biome, the catacombs, quickly proved why they're no joke. Okay, so we got skulls. Ooh. Oh, there's 2 damage already. That's no good. Ooh. Ooh. Yikes. Okay, instantly died in the second area. Tough. By the way, did I mention that there's permadeath? If you die, you're back to the start of the game. But now that I have some experience under my belt, I begin to understand these mechanics a little bit better. The first major rule that I learn is the following. Your gun isn't just for killing enemies. Sure, you can shoot them, but firing also slows you down. And that's huge because it gives you extra time to react to what's coming next. The catch is that ammo is limited, as you can see on this bar on the right. You can only reload by landing on the ground or bouncing off enemies. So weirdly enough, the best strategy isn't to waste ammo by blasting foes, but to use your shots to slow your fall just enough to bounce off these enemies, which refills your ammo, making you much safer overall. If you kill enemies without touching the ground, you build a combo meter. Using this method of slowing my fall and bouncing off enemies to reload, I managed a combo of 10 pretty early on, and I earned a trophy for it. Ooh, combo. Landed 10 combo. Nice. More on combos later, they're secretly a very important part of the game. On our second run, we make it back to the catacombs, and this time we're able to survive long enough to see a few of these enemies. I actually think the catacombs is the hardest of the 4 biomes, and it's because of these 3 obstacles. First, we have these spike floors, which are pressure activated. They're not too bad in this normal mode, but they get really tough in hard mode. Next, we have the large skulls. These guys are tough because if you shoot them, they become enraged and you can no longer bounce off them. So you have to be really careful with your shots here and not accidentally hit them. Finally, we have the bonies. These guys I think are the only projectile enemies in the entire game. They throw these bones and they are total snipers. They hit me like 80% of the time that I passed one of them. When you put all of these together, this is what the typical run through the catacombs usually looks like. These skulls. Wow, okay, I just got dominated there. Starting to get pretty chaotic. But after a few more runs, we have some more experience under our belt and are able to better dodge all of these enemies. Oh shoot, missed a shop. Okay, I think that's as far as we made it. Yes, by ghosts. So that's through floor 2. So it's on to World 3, the Aquifer, and the big new thing here is that we now have a breath meter. If this number hits 0, you take some damage, and you refill your breath by picking up bubbles found in chests or clams. But overall, this area is not too bad. I think the enemies are way easier than in the last one. You have these squids, which you can bounce on as they're going up, but if they manage to slip by you, they will now dive bomb you and you can't land on them. The most annoying enemy is definitely the piranha. These guys just track you down and are pretty fast, and it's super annoying when they get above you and you can't really do anything to hurt them. Our first time in the zone, we almost make it all the way through. This is the third and final area of the Aquifer. Got a decent combo here. Oh, that hurt. I think that was my biggest combo ever, and I think it gave me some gems. Ow. Ugh, too bad. Almost made it to the bottom of World 3. That was a bummer of a death, but we quickly get another good run going and make it down to the bottom of the Aquifer again. Ooh, it's okay. Hit. All right, that's a new PB, I think. Yes, spy squids. All right, so cleared the water world. With that, we've made it into the final area of the game, Limbo. The big gimmick for this area is that other than the side rooms, there's no ground to stand on. As you fall, you'll get these random objects to bounce off of to reload your gun boots, but there's no solid ground to stop and take a breath. That might sound intimidating, but honestly, this area is pretty easy. The only enemies are these red blobs. You can't bounce on them, you have to shoot them, but they move pretty slowly, so as long as you have a good amount of ammo, you can really take your time and slowly make it through these levels. Okay, more types of enemies showing up, but pretty good. One nice side effect of this zone is that because there's nowhere to land, you very naturally build up a huge combo. I happened to build a combo up into the 30s without even trying. Nice. Ooh, got a trophy for that. I think that was like a 34 combo. Earlier, I mentioned that combos are kind of the secret to this game, and that's because you gain resources if you build up a combo large enough. If you land a combo of 8 or more, you gain 100 gems. If you land one of 15 or more, you gain those gems as well as get an additional ammo. And if you land one of 25 or more, you get your gems, your ammo, and you heal 1. So as we move further into this game, we're really going to try to focus on getting combos of 25 or more. But for now, we finish up the void, and it's time to see what the boss at the bottom of the well is all about. Yes, buy stuff, beat the 4th area. Nice. All right, and what do we want for the boss? We go into the boss with full health, which honestly does not happen very often, but unfortunately I take 2 shots of really bad damage just trying to wake the boss up. But once he's awake, it's our turn to fight back. As you can probably tell, the goal here is to shoot the boss in his eye to make him slowly go down the well. Every now and then he releases some enemies, and he also does this big triple shot, which was pretty hard to dodge at first. You also have to watch for teeth falling from above. Ouch. Okay, down to 3 health. Wow. Okay. Oh, it's tough. Get out of here. Down to 2 health. Down to 1 health. Oh my god. This chase sequence means that we have finished the first phase of the boss fight. Ah, so close. I feel like we were pretty close there. How close was that? It turns out that was not that close. You see, the way this boss works is that there are 4 phases, each one representing one of the different biomes of the game. Most of that fight was in the first phase, where the boss was spitting out enemies that we found in the first section of the game. In the second phase, you need to deal with ghosts and the spike floors, and in the third phase, you're in water, so you need to keep track of your air again. In my next fight with the boss, I make it all the way to the 4th phase, where there are no floors, just these objects that you can bounce on to reload. We are almost there. It's taken us about 4 hours of practice to make it to this final phase of the boss. But then, this happens. Ooh, my controller just ran out of battery. Oh no. Wow. What a way to lose that. I honestly think that last fight would have been pretty close if I didn't have that controller mishap. I had 2 health and was on the last phase of the boss. But alas, we are back to the start and have to start the grind all over again. We make our way through the bats and the frogs and the caves. then pass by the skeletons and the ghosts in the catacombs. We breeze through the Aquifer, dodging squids and piranhas. And finally, we fall through Limbo, building our combo trying to get as much health for the boss. Finally, we make it back to phase 4, and this time our controller is plugged in. Okay, we got a shot here. Ooh. Okay, there's my hit. Things get super scary here as I'm one-shot, but I have to be close to the end of this boss. Ooh, man. Right at the end, I think he died. Oh, man. Okay, we beat it. Beat the boss. I guess we got there. I guess we died right as we killed the boss. Huh. We'll take it. So even though that win kind of has an asterisk on it, it lets us try out hard mode. This is where the real difficulty in the game starts to set in. I think on average you can expect to beat normal mode in around 3 to 8-ish hours. But hard mode is a different story. It is a big step up. It seems like the average time to beat hard mode is around 10 to 15 hours of practice. So what makes hard mode so difficult? Well, in short, there's just more enemies that can hit you. In the catacombs, the spike traps have changed to now be on a cycle. I actually think this is the hardest change in all of hard mode. In addition, some of the harder enemies like the big skulls and the bonies start spawning in the first stage of the catacombs rather than the later stages. I actually think the caverns and the catacombs are by far the most difficult part of hard mode. Usually if you make it through those two stages, your run will then be strong enough to make it through the Aquifer and Limbo pretty easily. In the Aquifer, you lose your breath at double the speed, and the air bubbles are no longer found in chests, they're just floating in the levels, so they're a little bit harder to get. One nice hack for the Aquifer that I think is a little bit subtle is that you can steal the air from the shopkeeper. Usually the shops were pretty useless to me by this point in the run, but being able to fully replenish my air for free is a very nice bonus. And then for Limbo, the only new addition is that any enemy from the game can appear in this stage, which makes it a little bit trickier to navigate. In terms of this grind, all I can say is that it just took a lot of hard work to get better at the game. I became much more consistent at pulling off combos, which gave me a lot of resources that would help later on. I also began to learn what passive upgrades worked best for me. I think the best upgrade in the game by far is gem powered. This upgrade replenishes your ammo when you pick up gems, and because most enemies drop gems when they die, you can really extend your combo by picking up this one upgrade. It also combos very nicely with Gem Attractor, which is an upgrade that increases your range for sucking up gems. Basically, I liked any upgrade that was kind of defensive. Safety Jetpack was also very good. This one lets you hover in the air for a short period of time after running out of ammo. Basically, any item that let me slow the game down a little bit was an instant pick. In terms of offensive items, the only one that I felt was absolutely necessary was Laser Sight. This extends your gun's range, which is super important for the boss because you want to stay as far away from him as possible. Using these strategies, I slowly made it through each of the 4 zones, getting a trophy at the end of each one. So many ghosts. Beat the second area on hard mode. Good stuff. Okay, that's the end of Waterworld, I think. So many squids. Wow, very tough. On one particularly strong run, I happened to make it through all of the Aquifer without taking any damage. Ooh, Master from Descent, look at that one. Complete an area without taking damage. Can't believe we got that on hard mode World 3. As for the boss, he's mostly the same in terms of gameplay. He has a little bit more health, and when he chooses to use his triple shot attack, he fires 2 bursts at you, but other than that, it feels pretty similar. On this run, we happen to pick up another miscellaneous trophy while fighting the boss. Okay, we got a trophy saving up. I'm a bit too panicked to know what this trophy was for at the time, but it turns out it was for holding more than 3,000 gems. This run was like one of the first times that I made it to the final phase of the boss in hard mode, and so I was super nervous here. Got laser, which is very interesting. Ooh. Wow. What is happening? Ooh. I died. Shoot. Again, after more practice, I finally make it back to the boss with a really strong run. Honestly, everything here just clicked. I wasn't even nervous as I was fighting the boss. I felt really confident. Hey, we got there, I think. Is that it? Well matter. Wow, nice. Very good run. As our reward, we finally get to see what's at the bottom of the well. Aw, we found our cat. We now only have a few miscellaneous trophies to pick up to get the platinum, and the first two are very easy. We just need to get through one level without shooting and without killing any enemies. So we flip back to normal mode, and with a little bit of care, we're able to get it done very quickly. Okay, pacifist, and the next one as well. Let's see. Okay. That's don't shoot, so that's good. The last 4 trophies take a little bit more effort, but we can combine them all into a single run. For the first, we just need 5,000 gems, so that just means that we have to avoid all shops in this run. Next, we have a trophy for avoiding the ground for the entirety of a level, and also one for avoiding the ground for the entirety of an area. The plan is to do this in Limbo because there's basically no ground there anyways. And then finally, we need to land a combo of 100 or more. We'll do this in Limbo as well. Because we're planning on not landing on the ground anyways, it'll be really easy to get a big combo. As we make our way through the first level of Limbo, things are a little bit close. Because we haven't been going to the shop, we only have 2 health at this point. Ooh. And we're stuck on shotgun too. So yeah, I have not made this super easy on myself. 37 combo, a third of the way through. Ooh, okay, so ground allergy, complete a level without landing. As we make our way through the second level of Limbo, we get close to that 5,000 gem mark. Frugality, so I think that was the money. Yeah, okay, so we got our money. So I think we get the plat if we get 100 combo, and if we don't land throughout the next 2 levels. So there's 1. So we have to get to the end of this level and kill 20 dudes here. No health. That is a bummer. Finally, as we make our way through the third area of Limbo, we're getting closer and closer to that platinum. Okay, so there's 100, so we do need to land it. So if we get to the end of this level without dying, we should get the plat when we land on the platform before the boss. That was super close. Wow. Ooh, we were empty there. Okay, here we go. So this should be it. Clean boots. Nice. I don't think this matters. And now if we land this 100 combo, I think that will be the plat. Okay, and is that it? Or did I miss one? Hey, Downwell. Pretty good. All right, very efficient there. What a game. I ended up getting this platinum in about 8 hours, which I'm super proud of. Overall, Downwell is a great little game with no fat on it. I definitely recommend it if you're looking for a harder platinum. If you've made it to the end of this video, please consider giving me a like and subscribe. It definitely helps the channel out. I have a ton of videos about hard platinums up on my channel, and I've told folks that if I hit 100,000 subscribers, I will go for the hardest platinum ever, Crypt of the Necrodancer. So let's try to get there. Thank you as always to my gold tier members, and we will see you next time.